Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. We've got 3 guitars to unbox today and a couple to say goodbye to, but the theme for this episode is guitars that I've always wanted but never actually got the opportunity to have. We're going to start with this one. It doesn't necessarily follow that theme if I remember what's in this box anyways, but this is going to be one that kind of ties in with another guitar that's waiting to be reviewed. And it's by a brand that I don't normally talk about, but it's still highly related to one that I recently started talking about. Yeah, so they did a pretty nice job packing this thing up. Awesome double wall box, lots of cushioning. And it says Fender. That's a good thing, because that means I know what guitar's in here. But let's go ahead and open it up and see what she is. A black Jazzmaster. So I just recently unboxed one of the Antigua ones, but then I just happened to see that this one showed up for a pretty good price. So I thought it'd be a good idea to either review both of these within the same video, since they are essentially the same guitar, just in a different finish. If I remember correctly, these black ones came after the limited edition Antigua run. So these are the more common ones that sell for half as much, but they're just so cool because not only is it a Jazzmaster, it's baritone scale length. So they're meant for, you know, more drop tuning stuff. I like to tune my baritones to standard though, because it just makes everything sound completely different. We'll have a 2-for-1 episode coming up soon. I can definitely tell that this one actually has baritone strings on it, so I will not be tuning this one to standard. So maybe I'll do like 2 different tunings like I did with the Jazz Telly video. I guess you could say I kind of always wanted that guitar, but it's the Antigua version that I was hunting for, but that hunt was over. And this one, yeah. If it's the one I think it is in here, I'm very excited to open this box. So this is one of those more like golf bag style boxes that you can buy at, like, I think they call it U-Haul. They'll sell them as golf bag boxes. And I like these things because they give you tons of room to add extra protection. So you can get it on all corners as well as all the sides, instead of the flat boxes that have a little bit more of a weakness on like these sides. But it does cost you slightly more to ship a guitar in a box like this. But sometimes when it's a irreplaceable type thing, it's worth the extra cost. Now this guitar, well, I wouldn't say it's irreplaceable. It was professionally packaged by the UPS store, so I'm glad that they at least gave us really good padding. And the guy who sold this to me, he actually took video of the guy packaging it, and that's a really smart thing to do, because I've had people pay, you know, the $150 plus to get UPS to professionally pack something, and then they just put it in the box with no additional packaging. The whole reason why you pay for UPS to pack your stuff is that's the only way to guarantee a payout with your claim. So if you're ever shipping like a $30,000, $40,000 guitar, that's usually the best way to go if you want to cover your own butt. Well, that took forever, but here we are. You know, it's kind of funny. This guitar is actually kind of related to that last one we did, and I didn't even plan it that way. So this is an SG that I have wanted for such a long time, but I had to be really patient because the prices are always all over the place with these guys. So to find one at a price that I'd be comfortable with, it took a little bit of a time. But here it is. That's an interesting use of strings. Oh, that's cool. You know, that's kind of interesting. I never thought about doing that before. I usually just put business cards in between, but, you know, putting a fresh set of strings like that, that's interesting. But this is the Buckethead SG. And it is not officially the Buckethead SG, but it came out slightly after the Buckethead Les Paul, if I remember correctly. And it's basically to Buckethead specs. It has the exact same style pickups, the 496R 500T, really hot ceramic style. It's definitely a larger SG than normal. It's got the baritone scale length, 27 inches. And the problem with these guys is, you know, they're very prone to getting cracks and finish checks. They'll discolor just like the original bucket heads. So it's kind of been a long hunt to find one of these that didn't necessarily have any major issues and was at an appropriate price that I could buy, review, and then move it on to its next home. I mean, this one, yeah, it's got some scratches. It almost looks like somebody liked to use like a metal pick or something. But I'm not going to worry too much about that. Looks like we got a small finish check right there by the output jack. That's nothing too bad. A small ding. But as long as we don't have any, you know, cracks by the neck heel, I think we're good to go on this one. Man, this is such a cool guitar. This is the first time I've actually held one in my hands. I love these oversized baritone Gibson guitars. But to fill you in a little bit more on the story of this one, it's actually a fan of the show. They sent me their Reverb listing, and they wanted to know if I wanted to buy it. And I told them, you're going to do much better off selling it on your own. But then I told him about the market, because he was asking a little bit higher than these would normally sell for. And I told him, this is what I can do, but definitely try to sell it yourself first. So he tried to do that, but then he just kind of got impatient. He needed the money for other stuff, so he just sold it to me. But yeah, I'm gonna have a good time with this one. The only thing it's missing to be perfection is like a red kill switch somewhere on the guitar. I think I'd be willing to sacrifice a tone knob to put one of those things in. And our last one to unbox today. I've done the bigger brother of this guitar, but this one just happened to show up. I think it was New Year's Eve, like the night. It was the very last guitar that I bought in the year 2019. And this is not the model that I wanted to review from this series. I was looking for the 3 version of this. But the opportunity to document number 2, I figure, why not? So let's see what we got in here. It's one of those everything but the kitchen sink type pack jobs. So good head protection, and yeah, can't complain with that. Packing paper is heavier to use than bubble wrap, but it's a little bit easier to store because it just comes in a big roll. So that's why many dealerships choose to use this stuff. I don't care what people use as long as it arrives safely. You can even use stuffed animals. Uh-oh. I don't think that this is the guitar I was thinking of. Well, I thought I knew what was in every box. Okay, so this is a custom art historic, so that means it was before 2004. It looks like it is a Les Paul style case. So, what is in here? This is one I just recently bought. Oh, yes. This is looking much more beautiful in person. So this thing was on Reverb. I don't think it was a crazy good price or anything. I just thought it looked kind of nice. I think there was recently a price drop on it, so I just gave the guy an offer. Sometimes that's the best thing that you can do. But check out this quilty top. Man, this is beautiful. I think I bought it because it reminds me so much of a Spotlight Special. It just doesn't have the center stripe going down because it's got that super wide quiltiness to it. This thing's beautiful. And it appears to be some sort of just a custom shop quilt top Les Paul standard. Not necessarily a historic reissue of anything, but it'll likely still have the long neck tenon and stuff like that though. No certificate of authenticity, but it looks authentic to me. And I think by buying this guitar, I really helped someone out because the whole time they're like, thank you for your order, thank you for your order. It's like, well, thank you for a good price on a beautiful guitar. Because while this thing is beautiful, trying to sell this on Reverb and not having the marketing approach that I have, it would be hard to find a buyer because not everybody's looking for this type of guitar. Because the keywords are a little bit funny on these types of guitars. But, you know, I'll probably have 2 or 3 messages saying, I want to buy that guitar right now, just because of how beautiful it is. Well, that's the last one I'm going to unbox for this episode. We'll save the other ones for next episode. I gave you a little bit of a sneak peek. Let's go ahead and switch over to the other side of things, boxing. So I was talking in the new NAMM announcement video of another fantastic looking signature Fender bass that me, as mainly a guitar player, found really attractive, and it's a signature model for a guy named Tony Franklin. But the thing that kind of scared me away from it is it's a fretless design. But this just happened to sell like right after I made that video, and that gave me a little bit more confidence in buying these basses, knowing that they do sell to someone eventually. So this was the Ultra Jazz bass. and it is ultra beautiful. I love the Texas tea finish. The guy who got this one, you're a very lucky guy because it is a beautiful bass. But the Tony one is kind of beautiful in the completely opposite way because it's got the straight ebony fretboard, no frets on it at all. That's going to be interesting. But no promises I'm even going to buy and review that one. But it was definitely fun getting to check out this ultra jazz bass. Let's go ahead and get it packed up. It is round 2 on this guy. This is the 50th anniversary Flying V. A lot of people didn't like the modifications this guy did to it to restore it back to, how it looked originally. I don't understand the mentality of some people on that. I love the gold covers, and I get it. They routed out a little chunk of the wood right there, but I love this leg rest feature. And that little song that I played on this during that unboxing for the second time, one of the best things I've ever written. How dare you return a guitar to me? I was honestly surprised this one took as long as it did, but once again, round 2 of saying goodbye to my homemade backplate. This is actually a pretty cool guitar. I wouldn't necessarily pay like the huge premiums that people want for the all stock original ones, but for the guy who picked this up for a little more than $1,000, I think he's doing okay. Well, we said goodbye to another one of these last unboxing episodes, so that tells you it is the Jazz Telly in the one that I preferred. That surf green one was a beautiful color and I loved it, but this one, just a little bit better. But it took a little bit longer to sell because I wanted to get a little bit more for this one. But I would highly suggest checking one of these things out. I know they're a little bit goofy, but I absolutely love these and would buy another one of these again if I wanted a guitar that sounded like this. So let's go ahead and get this one packed up, and hopefully it goes to a good home and he enjoys it. Thank you, Troglodytes, for tuning into this boxing unboxing episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.